Alrighty, I think we're back to finally do some more fusion drawings. You're gonna have to excuse my resolution here. This is not the best resolution on this monitor. Hopefully that comes out right. Anyway, this is the goal. So this is the Pacemaker fuselage. I talked about doing the Pacemaker a while back and decided to get to it. So this is what we're gonna try to do, and this is all surface modeling. And for this type of shape of fuselage, I think building it from the outside in kind of makes sense. And I'm not a big fan of this cowling shape, but that is the shape that that they have on here. So we're going to get started, and I'm hoping I remember how I did it. It's been a while since I did that first one. But as you can see, this is kind of a traditional stick and frame type construction. Wings a little bit different, but I think once you get, if you can get through this, you can probably get through anything. If you followed any of my other videos, I do have a request to make another simple video, and I'll get to that. And I am working on the Junior 100. It's pretty close to being done. I've got to do a couple things, but I've had so many other projects in the middle of it. I got another design I'm working on. I got several designs I'm working on. But anyway, and I'm hoping to build a full-size airplane. I have it, let's see here. If anyone is interested in it. Well, I know it's close. Here we go. I don't know if anyone has ever wanted to do a full-size airplane, but this is an ultralight design from the early 80s, and I decided to draw it in CAD. And the reason why is I can, of course, I can get all these gussets and tubes and everything and get it all mapped out where it's all working out. Let's see, I even got the okay, engine bearing, boom, yeah. So, and with it being all this tube type construction, it's pretty challenging to create it, but it's been a fun project. So maybe I'll do a video on that. Anyway, back to the Pacemaker here. So we're gonna do things in a couple of steps, and I need to know, like, this. If you can look how this stringer comes running into this former, and I don't think this drawing has it accurate as to this angle or as to this arc where it runs into it, or spline. So to get it right, we have to draw this former, and this former is pretty simple because it's just a big circle. That's it. And if we look at these other formers, you can see we got these stringers on the side. So this was built as a box, right? All of this, you can see where you follow the 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch sides, and then these 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch uprights and diagonals. And so you build a side like the old, you did way back when. Hopefully you did. And then you add these little stringers on the side to give it some shape. And then these are pre-done formers that follow along the top up here. But I kind of want to build it different. I want to build it, and I built an airplane like it in the past for a guy. Let's see it, and I made it so that he had keels, so there were notched keels. He had full formers instead of built up sides. So you'd have a complete former here and a complete former here. And here we go. So these formers, you can tell they run all the way down, and then there were keels that notched. So let's see if I can figure out where that is with that. This was way back. Formers. Let's turn all the formers off. So you can see the stringers don't have any notches, but these keels have notches. So I have one on the side. I've got one on the bottom here, and I've got one in the middle. This plan called for that. And then I have this one up on top. So, my customer, he's like, I never built one like this before. I go, well, let me know what you think about it. So he put it together and he says, I'm gonna put it in a frame and make sure it's all square. I said, you probably won't have too much trouble squaring it up. Because one, you got this center keel right here, right? That goes through the middle of the airplane. You got this keel, you got this top keel, and then you got these side keels. And all those keels lock them formers in place. And you almost can't screw it up, but you still get a traditional type, stringer and keel construction. And that's kind of the goal that I want here. I want to do the same type of deal, but I may run two keels on the side, right? And then I'll run one keel on the center up here and then one keel on the center here. So I'll have 6 keels, and then stringers will make out the rest. So what I did before was surface modeling on this. And so like this doesn't have any thickness. And we're not even going to worry about thickness because the keels and the stringers are going to be what makes our shape on this, not any flat sides or anything like that. We turn off this one canvas. So that this whole stringer system is going to create the shape, and may put in some bracing in here inside this front part for where the motor is going to go. And like I said, I'm definitely doing something different with that cowling. I don't like it. Well, at least the way that I had it drawn. Anyway, let's get started. And what I want to do first is create a sketch here on the side. And this is going to be, I'm only going to focus on this stringer here and this one here, or this keel, or that may just be a stringer. It may not be a keel because it's got a lot of curve to it. Anyway, let's do this. So we want to go, I kind of want to put a construction line up here on the front of this. And I actually want it to go all the way to the top, because that is the diameter of this first former F5 or whatever it is. So I need that, and I'm actually going to dimension that, and I'm in metric. I hope that's okay with everybody. I guess I'll go ahead and do this in metric. That'll make the rest of the world happy, because for some reason the US can't become metric. But anyway, I digress. So that's going to be where this first former is going to be, and I'm going to put a plane on there to draw that former. And I need another place for this F7, but let me go ahead and draw this top part, this top line, which is going to be my keel. And it goes all the way to the back to here. And that line is going to be horizontal. Oh, it's already horizontal. And let me draw a line down back here because I need to draw a former back here. I don't know if you guys have ever used, there's a program called DevFuse, and it's pretty handy. It actually draws formers just like this. And I could actually use that program to create these formers. It's pretty neat, but I still find it to be a little cumbersome. So I'm gonna do this, and it looks like, let me make sure I got this in the right spot. This is quarter. I think I got to go up to here, huh? Yeah, I do. So I need to delete this measurement here. And I'm going to move this up. Now, in case you're wondering, this is not a beginner CAD fusion video. Okay, there are tons of them out there, and I've done some simple ones, and I recommend you looking at those before you tackle this project. This is a very complicated project. Here we go. All right, so I got that line there, and I want to go ahead and make this line down here, okay? And we're going to use control point spline, and I teach classes on this program, and it kind of drives me nuts when people use the fit point spline, especially when they're drawing a complicated drawing like this, because you really got to anchor things down. I've got designs that I've had to go back and edit, and even with the sketches all ironed out, it is still, you still end up with problems. And if it didn't have it, it would just be much worse. So find your sketches. And it looks like the stringer comes down here. I'm going to insert another fit point on here. You just right click on your spline, hit input fit points or spline, and then or fit point. Then come down. Yeah, and I'm probably low here. Yep. There. I wonder if that's a straight line right there. Let me try this. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've worked on this. You know what? I think that is straight back there. I'm going to cut this back part off. Click the wrong thing. I did get a brand new Mac. Nope. I got myself an M3. I got an M3. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I got an M3 Mac Mini. And man, is it fast. I hit X on that. We want that to be a line. Now, get rid of that. So that looks pretty straight up to this point. So I'm going to do that. I think that'll make this a whole lot simpler to do. Okay, and one of the things you have to do, you have to make this arc tangent to this line. If you don't, you're going to end up with problems later on when you use these lines for sweeps or whatnot, and it just won't work. So don't forget that. Got to keep things smooth. Okay. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I like that. So let's dimension all of this. Again, we need to keep everything dimensioned. I wonder how I got to metric on here. I just want to double check something here. Make sure that I'm not drawing something too big. Okay, that's right. I'll go back. Especially since the original was done in metric, since it was done in Japan. Now, one thing we do want, we want this line where we're going to put our former, it needs to go all the way down to the bottom here. And we're going to dimension that too, so it doesn't move on us. And we'll put a dimension there. We're going to make that, round that out to a nice even 65. Then this point we need to dimension here. Make that a 9.4. I've got that. I need to put an angle on here. Okay, and if you don't know this, when you're using a fit point spline and you make this spline tangent to a line, this part, this control is going to be collinear with that line that you're using for your tangency. So just remember that. And we need to dimension that off of here. That's solid. And is this, I need, oops, come on, catch up with me. I need to make this a regular line instead of construction. That can be construction. And like I mentioned, we need this F7. I'm going to go to the high point here, because when you cut your formers, that's what you do. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom down here. I'm not going to draw that arc just yet. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and then we're going to dimension this. I want to know how high above that and how far below, because I'm going to have to reference that point later when I draw that bottom. All right, so here's what we have. So we have this back here. This doesn't have to be a line. It's not. It's a construction line. Is it a construction line? No. It's a construction line now. These are not construction lines. This can be a construction line, okay? And this is a construction line. So the only real lines we're using are these two right here. And that right there gives us the flat area of our fuselage side. So we need another drawing, and this is where we're going to have to turn the top on. And if you don't know how to put canvases in, there are videos out there that show you how to put canvases in. All right, so what we need now is to draw this line right here. Yep, so we're going to create a sketch on this top. I need to reference these, so I'm going to project these points into what I have. Look at that. This drawing is not perfectly sized, because I need to bring this out to here. Oops. Make that vertical, and I need to do the same thing over here. And I need to think about what material thickness I'm going to have. So it's probably going to be 3mm or 1/8 inch back here. So I'm going to make this line 9mm. What? And I hope I got, I'm going to check something here real quick what my wingspan is. So I got a 2-meter wingspan. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're good. But I wonder why. Oh, it's not 3mm. It's going to be 6mm back here because of 1/4 inch side stringer. So we're going to make that 6mm, and that's going to help us make our former later. And now we just need to draw this part right here. It looks like we got some straightness right here. I'm going to draw this straight back to there and then get more fit point spline action. And we'll go to that point there. Okay, let us, all right, we're going to make this tangent to this. If you don't, you will have troubles. And we want to go right there. That looks good. This looks straight right there. Oops, let's dimension this so we don't get anything wandering around on us. Okay. That's easy enough. There we go. And now we can dimension this. We can dimension this. That looks good. And dimension this. Put an angle there. And I think all we need is an angle right here. There we go. That's all we need from that. So here's what we have. We have this line and this line. And I think what I did when I did this drawing, and God, I wish I'd have done this sooner because I could remember what I did when I did this one. One of the things that you have to contend with is this curve right there. Okay, all right. Well, I think I remember how I did it now. I'll turn that off. So here we can now, we're going to put a, create this F1. We're going to do a plane at an angle. And that's why we put that little line right there. That's at 0. We say okay. We're going to put another one right here, plane at an angle. Okay. So in order to keep things clean, we're going to write this in here. I'm just going to call this fuse flat profile. That's the flat part. And here is the flat upper. There we go. That's good. Now, this is going to be F1. I'm going to go ahead and create a new component. And we'll call this F1 or whatever you want to call it, firewall, whatever. Now we'll create a sketch on here. And we need to project this point, This point should be right. We're going to find out. I'm actually going to do a 3-point arc and see if this works. Now I'm actually going to do, oh, no, not there. Okay, escape. It's not quite a circle, but that is using all the reference points that that we had, right? So that's going to create that. So that is not a 100% circle, but it should be tangent when we create the circle on the other side, crossing our fingers. If we were to create a circle, what is this point? A perfect circle out to here, you can see it doesn't line up here and here. Okay, so let's put, I'm just kind of running an experiment here. Yeah, so the width is slightly longer. I'm gonna go ahead and click this. So you can see I'm here to this point, but it doesn't quite make it on the top. So this is not a perfect circle on the front here. It's kind of an ellipse, and we're gonna go with that. Okay, so let's call that good. I'm actually going to make this where I can make it a solid in a little bit. Okay, now we need to make this font, or this former. On the plans it's called F7. So let me create a new component, and we're going to call this F7. You can do your own naming system. Now I'm going to create a sketch on here. And on this one, we got several points here. I need to come down. I'm going to intersect this line. Okay, and then I need to make a construction line that comes down here. And I'm going to look at the canvas really quick. See again what F7 looks like if I have it. That's F17. Is it F17? That's F17. No, it's called F7. Okay. So this line, I'm going to draw this point. Look at our thing. I'm going to turn F1 off. I want to intersect with this line. Also, I'm going to hit slice. So slice will give me that there. Okay, so I'm going to intersect there. We're going to draw this line out to help make this former. And do that. There we go. Let me turn all this off. So now what I have, and I need to do the same to the very bottom, which I didn't draw on here. I need that. I need that. All right, I'm going to finish this sketch because I need this down here. So I'm going to draw that bottom profile sketch right now. And I'm actually going to move it in time ahead of all this. And that's the fun thing that you can do in Fusion. Okay. Project this point and project that point. Now, because I gotta have that for is that straight back there? Oh no. Okay, get this, let's see here. All right, it is straight back here. We'll delete that constraint. Oops. It looks like it straightens up. Right there. Yep, that's straight. Okay. And we need to make this tangent to that straight line. And bring this down to get all that lined up. Yeah, the other thing I find about this control point spline, it is so much easier to get stuff where you need it. All right, dimension this. We'll reference that if it will let me. Nope. Check this. Now I can get that in there. Now, what I'm going to do with this sketch, because I hadn't done anything with this other stuff, I'm going to move this sketch back to there. So now in the timeline, it happens before I make F7. So when I go back into F7 and I edit this sketch, now you can see I have that bottom and I need that. So I am going to intersect this and this. Turn the canvases off for now. And construction line out to here. And a construction line out to there. So now I know. So now I know where this former is gonna happen, right? So here is where I have the curve from this point to the top of the fuselage. Right? Is that right? I hope I did this right. Let me know if I didn't. Nope, I didn't do it right. So here to here is the top of my curve. Here to here is flat to this point. Okay, and then from this point to this point, I have a curve. This actually needs to come down further, but we're okay. All right. So now I know what to do. I'm going to try 3-point arc. And I need to project this point. My 3-point arc. I think I don't like that. And I'll tell you why. I really want to do a fit point spline here. And you only need 2 points to do it. So, and the reason why is this, I want to make horizontal, so that runs tangent to the other side. I could kind of do the same thing here, but I think the shape, let's see, it's F, okay, so yeah, here's F7. You could take this and put it over here. You could also draw the sketch on here and move it, but I kind of don't do that. This looks like it's a pretty big circle, but it is a perfect circle and are really close to it. So I'm wondering But I am wondering if this is not it. That's close, but that's not it. Yeah, I need to kind of do like I did on the first one there. All right, let's get rid of that. And go back to this arc and see what I can get here. Center point arc. Doesn't quite make it, but it does give me a guide. I'm going to need to add. Oh, I'm not in the sketch. I accidentally hit finish sketch all the time. Here instead of select. I just need to remember to hit the escape. Let's try tangent arc. Well, that's not what we want. All right, I'm just going to kind of make this look close. And for me, that's fine. Let's dimension this. We have that. You notice it is not tangent right here, but that's fine. Now let's do the same thing down here from this point to this point. Make this horizontal. And whatever looks good to you is what it needs to be. Go from here to here. That's that part. Then we can do that. And we can go ahead and close this up. Okay, so that is F7. We can finish that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something a little different than what I normally do in this situation. But in this instance, I think it's going to work. I'm going to go to extrude, and I want to extrude this line. And we want to go 2 sides. And I'm just going to blow it all past this where it needs to be. So now you can see that's going to represent the flat part of our fuselage. Okay, now I'm going to try to cut this body with, with this line and with this line. Okay, so oops, I had that under F7. That's not where that goes. All right, so there we have the flat side of our fuselage. Let me go up here and make sure I do this part in here, and then I'll separate everything. So now what I need to do is, and you can see how this is not running into this. So this is going to have to be lofted separately. So we're going to cut this little part off right here. So we're going to split body again. And I have split body set up for, that's not what we want. I have split body as a key command on Shift B. Is that what we want? Nope, that's not what we want. Well, we'll do it this way then. Plane 2. We'll just use that plane to cut that, and then we can remove this. Don't need it. Turn that plane off. All right. So it's been a little bit, and I think I'm going to take a break right here, and then we're going to move on. It'll start coming together a lot more in the next couple of sections there. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to draw the former back here, and then I'll be able to make a loft here with these as rails. I may have to put in a couple other portions in there to make it look right, to help control it. Then we will work on this back part. But anyway, we'll move on in the next video. I hope everybody's doing great, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe.